Hi. Now I'm here with Belinda Robson. Hi, Belinda. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Now, Belinda, thank you so much. You were amazing and contributed the chapter on Down syndrome. So thank you for that. It's absolutely first of its kind because I don't think that there's any other chapter quite like it anywhere in the world. Certainly not in the integrative medicine community. So not only hats off to you because what a difficult topic in the sense that it's so diverse and so complex. And I mean, the level of research that you contributed to that chapter was just off the charts. But you really, I think one of the things that I got the most out of it was that you took such a complex condition and made it really accessible for people. And I felt like after I read it, because it's not an area of my expertise by any stretch, but I felt like I at least knew the doors that I needed to walk through if I wanted to go down there. So amazing achievement. Thank you. But I obviously know you, but tell everyone about you. So what's your background and how did naturopathy find you?
I came through a bit of a different mode for getting there. I originally started with a Bachelor of Applied Science, majoring in fisheries and aquaculture, straight out of high school, which was took me about 1.5 years to realise that wasn't really where I wanted to go professionally. And then I had to really have a good think about what I did want, and it always kept coming back to health for me, whether that was the health of humans or health of animals, health of the planet. I've quite a strong sense of environmental responsibility, so part of that was part of it too. So eventually I discovered that what I wanted was right there at the same university. So I transferred over to naturopathy at Southern Cross and committed myself to another 4 years of study, which was great. And yeah, that was really good. And then more recently, I've done a master's of health science in developmental disability at the University of Sydney, which has been amazing and real journey in terms of learning what I didn't know, learning all the bits that are left out. That disability is rather underrepresented in most medical degrees and natural medicine degrees as well. So it was pretty amazing to really kind of take the areas of disability that I was interested in and expand that out to all areas of disability.
How come disability though? What was it about it that called to you?
For most people that study disability, there's a personal connection. For me, it probably began with having a son on the spectrum. Okay. And his journey sparked an incredible amount of research on my own, in my own time. And from there, initially wanting to help him and wanting to understand him better, to wanting to help other people's kids who are also on the spectrum. And from there, wanting to know more about disability in general. So it's been a bit of a long journey, but I really enjoyed it. And Down syndrome particularly, I think my patients with Down syndrome, not that I should have favourites, but they have very much become my favourites. They're just, such a joy to work with and so rewarding. Yes.
Yeah. And amazing the difference that you can contribute as a naturopath, which I don't think anyone really realises. And, the younger you can meet them and so much that you can offer them, which is just beautiful. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think, one of the most fascinating things for me, I guess, with doing all of these interviews is reconnecting to the idea of why I originally started the textbook and really wanting to highlight and showcase people that are experts in their areas, and how I think, after someone sees your chapter, there is no question in their mind that they're going to realise that if they want to specialise in working with people with disabilities, particularly Down syndrome, that it's a massive pathway in front of them, and they have so much knowledge that they need to catch up on and so much research, and there's so much difference that you've shown us in the chapter that can be achieved. How long have you been studying in this area though? Like, how long has this been a part of your journey?
11 years.
Yeah. You've got to put the hard yards in, really. And I mean, a master's is, a master's, what I always love about masters and what I love is about with people with specialties is that they go and they do their masters in conventional medicine, and it kind of deconstructs naturopathy, and then they have to reconstruct it in a new way and then move it forward, and then you become, really the leader in that area. So, hats off to you. It's beautiful what you've done with it. Yeah. But I guess if we look at you, like, where are things heading for you personally? What are you hoping to sort of achieve, and what are you doing with yourself and all of that?
Yep. Well, I do still have my master's thesis to convert into an article.
Okay.
With my master's, I did really exhaust myself by the end of it, and so I thought, okay, after that, I'm taking a year off, nothing academic, no big ambitions, just a year in the garden, reconnect with the kids and the family, be really present, and that was really good. And then this year with the pandemic, things have been a bit slow as well. So my goal is to have my thesis converted into a journal article by the end of this year, or at least submitted by the end of this year. And from there, longer term, bigger picture, I'd love to be teaching at some point. Whether that's, well, my ideal would be that I would love for a university to have a disability specific unit incorporated into natural medicine degree or medicine degree, and to have me teach it, which would be pretty cool. I'd settle for a series of guest lectures, but to have a dedicated unit developed to disability in medicine degrees would be pretty awesome, and it would do a lot to reduce the inequity that exists already, both in all sorts of medicine for people with disabilities, because a lot of it comes down to just inadequate training in the first place. So I would love to be part of something that actually address that inequity, so that all people with disabilities can access better care.
Because look, undergraduate naturopathy training, there's virtually no mention of anything of anyone with any disabilities and how to support them. But I think it would be great if you could offer mentoring, group training, anything. And anyone that's listening out there, I think that you should be doing some lectures, definitely, because there's such a core component of wider public health that I don't think we acknowledge the difference that we can contribute. So it's really beautiful that you were able to write this chapter, and I'm really grateful that we could include it. And I really think it's going to be interesting. There's a few chapters in the textbook that I really think it'll be interesting to watch, in the next 5 years but we'll get to the second edition when we update it. You may not want to talk to me then, but still. But by the time we get to the second edition, to see the change, I think this particular area is sadly a growth area because of the increase in numbers and things, but positively a growth area because of all the difference that you show us that we can do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Been a real privilege to include it, and really look forward to seeing everything unravel for you. Thanks, Belinda.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank you.